Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And I have a diamond in the rough for you guys to meet today. His name is Rico Payton III. He is a cornerback out of Pittsburg State. Nice to have you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.
Sure, buddy. Of course, Pittsburg State, for people that might be confused, that's actually out in Kansas. I remember several years ago, getting confused because people obviously always associate Pittsburgh with Pennsylvania. Y'all
Right.
don't have the H at the end, so that's
Yes, sir. You and me
that
both.
is.
We were both very confused about that.
But Rico had a very successful year this past season. Pittsburgh State's really been a force over these past several seasons. Getting deep into playoffs and losing very few games, and you being a part of all of them. So let's go ahead and talk about you, if you don't mind. Let's start from the beginning, and that is where you're from, and get us started with all this.
Right. Yes, sir. So, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Yes,
All right,
sir.
so St. Louis guy, Rico Payton the third. So I don't know
Yes, sir.
if
Yes, sir.
there's much of a tradition here, but I mean, I don't know if you got a son who you might end up naming the fourth. But
Right.
obviously
Right.
y'all got the trend going, so
Yes,
that's
sir. So we definitely got the train going. It's actually funny because my sister, she had my nephew a few years ago. He'll be turning 5 here shortly, but she ended up naming him Rico. So my little nephew is another Rico, and still deciding in between my son whether I'll name him or not.
yeah, no, I get that. But St. Louis guy went to Lindbergh High School there in Missouri, and let's talk just briefly about your time there. When you think about your high school days, what are some fond memories that you can share?
Yes, sir. High school football for me was amazing. It was a great experience. I actually, so I started playing varsity as a sophomore. I started both ways as a cornerback and a receiver. So for all my years, starting as a sophomore, and I just remember, actually as a sophomore, I think we ended the season 2-8 record. As a junior, I missed a lot of my junior year because of a knee surgery, but I think we ended that year 3-7 as well. And then just the following year, my senior year, I remember the summer leading into the season, just getting a group of my seniors together, getting a team together, and telling them it's not going to happen this year. We're gonna make a run. We're gonna make history, and that's what we ended up doing. We ended up having a 12-2 record. We went into the playoffs. We I think we lost right after districts or the district game, but it was a great experience. It was a great experience for sure.
Still fairly solid to turn that around.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes,
did
sir.
you do any other sports in your high school days or what?
Yes, sir. So, varsity. I mean, freshman and sophomore year, I ran varsity track, and freshman and sophomore year, I played basketball as well. As a sophomore, I started on varsity during basketball, but like I said, after I had that first knee surgery, I decided to just put my full focus into football. Just start taking care of my body a lot better.
Gotcha. Well, obviously wanted to kind of throw that in there. I mean, it is a somewhat a part of your resume, obviously, with you being just an overall athlete. Again, doing some track and basketball in your early years, and like you said, you wanted to focus all your energy into the sport that you love the most, that being football. So, I
Right,
gotta
yes,
ask the
sir.
question though, what do you love most about the game?
Uh, about the game, I feel like the reason I love it so much is because everything that it's taught me. I know it kind of sounds repetitive to say it, but it really is the game of life. The injuries that I've dealt with, the adversity that I've dealt with, the early records I've had. Like I said, when I was a sophomore, junior, really just learning what it means to be a true captain. Like I was the captain my senior year in high school, getting the group to buy in together and just, you know, I love everything about it. The brotherhood included. Just, uh,
Yeah, I mean,
just
and
that's fine.
it's just a sport, obviously, you grow up with. I mean, and
Right,
you
right.
really want to play it at the next level. And so I gotta ask, when you were a little kid there, it, in St. Louis, who was
Yes,
it that
sir.
you wanted to be when you were a little kid? Who
Right,
was
right. So when I remember when I first really started being able to understand the game and have that passion for it, with Damian Thomason for the San Diego Chargers, as well as Adrian Peterson, who played for the Vikings at that time. They were my favorite players. I'm telling you, I had all the jerseys. I would go outside, practice running through the end zone like them, practicing doing all their moves. And yeah, they were my true inspiration growing up.
But of course, they were running backs, and you ended up
Yes,
being
sir.
defensive back there, which kind of interesting. I mean, again, maybe perhaps that mindset of a guy with the ball in his hands and wanting the ball in
Right.
his hands may have
Yes,
influenced
sir.
you throughout
Right,
your
right.
journey. So, all right, well, after your time there at Lindbergh High School, we get the recruiting process started, and you eventually found yourself at Southern Illinois. And I know you
Yes, sir. Yes,
redshirted
sir.
there, but they were obviously the first school that gave you the opportunity. Talk about that whole recruiting and landing in Southern Illinois, like how that worked.
Yeah, so for me personally, it was different because, like I said, I missed some valuable time during my junior season, which is where most guys receive those Power Five big time offers during that year. So senior year, I came in with a big chip on my shoulder. I think my very first offer was from Northwest Missouri State. He actually came from a 7v7 practice, so um, leading into that summer, I started picking up more offers, mainly a lot of FCS schools, and I remember committing to Southern Illinois early on during the season. I ended up actually decommitting and then committing back to them, but it was just a crazy process. But I enjoyed the recruiting process a lot.
Well, I mean, certainly, Southern Illinois is actually a really good school. Let's just be real about that. I mean,
Yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
for whatever reason or another, man, obviously, didn't work out for you. You were only there
Right.
for a little bit before you decide
Yes,
to
sir. Yes,
make
sir.
that transfer to Pitt State. So, how exactly did that happen?
Right. So, like I said, after my senior year, I actually had another knee surgery that I was recovering from during my time at Southern Illinois. So I spent most of my time just recovering there, and ultimately, I just decided that it wasn't the right fit for me. Decided to take my talents elsewhere. And actually, my assistant cornerback coach at Southern Illinois, Coach Lindsey, he ended up going to Pitt State. So after that summer, I decided to go with him. We had a real good relationship, and that's why I decided to take my talents to Pitt State.
Well, I mean, obviously that's where you ended up getting most of your experience. Let's be real. I mean,
Right, right.
again,
Yes, sir. Yes,
you
sir.
had redshirted there at Southern Illinois, so it's not like you had
Hmm.
too much except for maybe some practice time,
Right,
but
right.
you get to Pittsburg State and maybe perhaps a little different, but not so much so because again, like you said, I mean, you ended up following one of your coaches there, which I think is kind of a neat thing. I feel like that kind of you know fairly smooth process. At least it should have been.
Right. Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
uh, talk about how really you have been personally used uh, as an athlete on the football field, man. How have you been utilized when you look at maybe perhaps your earliest days there at Southern Illinois, and obviously these past several years at Pittsburgh State?
Right. So yes, sir. I would just say I'm utilizing it good way. I was blessed to have a great group of coaches around me as well as teammates who really understood the game. But I feel like what I bring to the field the most is just the ability to completely shut down the side of the field. My defensive coordinator, we would talk and have personalized film sessions, and he would show me what I was doing because as a shutdown corner, a lot of the times you're not having a lot of fun out there if the ball's not being thrown at you. So it was just a process to learn you know, what it means to really be a true shutdown corner, what you're doing for the defense as well. And it's more so about the team and not, you know, your personal experience.
Well, I get that, and obviously, if your opponents aren't throwing your way, then you're not
Right.
racking up all those stats or anything. And in a weird sort
Right.
of
Yes,
way,
sir.
it almost gets you a little respect because if they're not throwing
Right.
it away, then
Right.
obviously you're doing a damn good job of it. So,
Hmm.
um, so playing this shutdown corner, give us a feel for that defense overall. What are you guys running like in a typical format? Like, you guys running a lot of zone? Like, give me a little teaser as to like maybe what you had to work with like on a regular basis.
Yes, sir. So the running our defense was pretty easy. Being a corner, it's I feel like it's the hardest position physically, but probably the easiest position mentally. You're mainly in man the zone the entire time. But what we usually did was we had two safeties high, disguising our coverages, and we would at the snap one would roll down. We would be in a lot of cover three, or mainly if we're not playing our cover three, we like to play aggressive press man and send pressure.
Nice, nice. And let's give a little bit of love to those guys around you, dude. I mean, who
Yes,
there on
sir.
your defense, on your team in general, impresses you the most?
Yeah, so we have a lot of impressive guys on our team. I'll just start on the defensive side of my ball. I had a really good safety with me, with fellow senior Mike Lacey, who was a great free safety for us as well. Had a lot of talented linebackers, a couple who earned All American honors. On the offensive side of the ball, probably our best threat is our tight end, Devin Garrison, long rangy tight end who makes one-handed catches literally every single game, catches in traffic, and uh, good competition.
Definitely nice to be able to maybe man up a little with him. You ever man up with him a little? I mean, he's a big dude, so I mean, I don't know like
Yes,
how
sir. He's a
that
big
can be
dude. We
possible.
would always I would always talk to him during practice, like, let me know whenever you're ready for this work, come outside. But he was always lined up, attached to the line. So I remember a few times we got to go against each other with the ball not really coming his way, but just good to have that competition. On top of spending summer workouts together, just working releases or working routes versus each other.
Nice. And of course, your team actually named you team captain. So
Yes, sir. Yes,
certainly
sir.
one of
Yes,
the
sir.
leaders there for your team. How does it feel to get that distinction?
It's a big honor, just because of the fact that being a team captain is a lot more than just being the guy who walks out for the coin toss. It means that you've earned the trust from your teammates. They know you're accountable. They know you're the first one in, last one out, and they trust you to lead them. And it's a even bigger deal, in my opinion, when you're on a team that's had the success that we've had at Pitt State.
Well, I was thinking there too, there for a second, just kind of, for fun. I'd
All
like to
right.
find the luckiest guy on our team to kind of throw him out there for that coin toss, which
Hmm.
obviously, you guys have a lot of great success. I don't know if you're one of those guys who's just like always knows what it's going to be there for the coin toss. Like it's always tails, like when you're out there. But
Right, right.
just kind of kid around a little bit with that. But obviously, you guys,
Yes, sir.
did a fantastic job of these past two seasons. You've only lost three games, which is really
Yes,
awesome. I
sir.
mean,
Yes, sir.
you guys making deep runs in the playoffs, and of course, this past season, um, all conference, all American, all of these honors and accolades. Um, what is the one thing that you guys have accomplished though that you're most proud of?
Just for our team, I personally say back to back conference championships. That was impressive for us, and it ultimately wasn't our end goal, especially for this year. I feel like I can say confidently that I feel like we had the best team in Division Two this year, and we just we weren't able to get the job done, getting that natty title, but I have all the confidence in the world and my guys still back at Pitt State that they'll get that done here soon.
Well, you guys are very close. These past
Yes,
couple of
sir. Yes,
years, you
sir.
guys have been like right there.
Right.
But obviously, it didn't work y'all's way. But maybe perhaps next season they'll be able to pull it out. So
Right. Yes, sir.
um,
Yes, sir.
when you think about those conference titles, or maybe any of the other games, what's like your best? I mean, maybe some of your best highlights. I mean, I know you got several interceptions to your credit. Um,
Yes, sir.
but
So
anything else? Walk me through maybe one of your best personal highlights.
right. So I would just say, even talking about the conference titles, this past year, our game that we played to solidify our conference championships, which we played on senior night, I ended up having two interceptions that game, along with the couple tackles, pass breakup, and it was just overall a great game for us.
Nice, nice. Well, obviously able to put together a solid resume and great career there for the Gorillas.
Yes, sir.
So, um, so I guess what are we doing now, man? What are you up to? Are you training somewhere? I mean, what's happening these days?
Yes, sir. So for about a month now, I've been down here in Charlotte, North Carolina, training for pro day, getting ready to put
Cool.
up some
So,
good, impressive numbers for the scouts.
where are you at with some of those things, man? You working on one of them in particular? Is there one of these drills that you're like most proud of?
Yes, sir. I would say being most proud of, I pride myself on my vertical jump, which scouts will get to see in person here soon, which I feel like I will impress them a lot with vertical, broad, just showing that explosion.
So
And
I don't necessarily want you to tip your hand too much, but
right,
at least a
right.
little bit of a range, man. Are you hitting 38 or 40 or where are you? What do you
Yes,
expect?
sir. Well, I won't give my hand too much. I'll just tell you right now that it'll be more than 38.
That's pretty good, man. That's nice to know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
cool. Well, Rico, let's take a moment to really meet this guy off the field, if you don't mind. Is there
Yes, sir.
anything
Let's
else
do it.
about you that you feel people need to know? Any interests, hobbies, passions? You got any secret talents? Anything you want to
Right,
share about
right.
yourself?
Like I always tell people, I'm a pretty chill guy outside of the football field. I know a lot of people consider themselves that way, but I really just like to be at home. I'm a gamer, honestly. I like to play a lot of video games, play the PlayStation. I enjoy watching movies because it's something that my mom and we did a lot growing up. Just we always find a good movie to watch, turn that on. So I like to do things like that. And now that I'm getting older, I would like to travel the world a lot more. I like going on hikes, seeing nature, and just being doing things like that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback on some of what you just shared real quick. So,
Yes, sir.
as a movie guy, give me one of your favorite movies.
Yes, sir. There's so many to pick from, but just right off the top of my head, the Fast and Furious, the entire sequel, that especially in the beginning days while Paul Walker was still with us, probably the first two or three movies that they made were probably my favorite ones.
Nice. Do
Yes, sir.
you have a favorite football movie?
Favorite football movie would have to be Gridiron Gang with The Rock.
But
That's a movie that I
that's a
used to
good one.
watch so much as a little kid. I would even watch it, wake up early before my games in middle school, and watch that movie.
Gotcha. And you said that you wouldn't mind traveling one of these days. Give me a couple of those bucket list places that you love an opportunity to visit.
Yes, sir. So there's so many places, but I would say right off the top of my head, I have to be in Hawaii sometime. I have to go to Hawaii definitely.
All
I
right.
always
Well,
look at the views and look up the Instagram pages to see the site, different sites and things like that. So definitely have to be there.
definitely sounds nice to be out there for sure. Anything else about you that you want to share? I mean, obviously at Pittsburg State for a while. Did you already get your degree?
Yes, sir. So I got my degree in sports recreation.
Nice, nice. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So after your football days are well and gone, what do you see yourself doing?
Yes, sir. So after football's done, I see myself being a trainer for the younger generation. Growing up, a lot of the times, like right now, this is my first time ever actually working with a performance trainer since I started playing football. So I want to give the kids who didn't have, that money growing up, or maybe just don't have the transportation. I want to be someone for them to help them evolve their game and be a mentor to them as well, not only on the football field, but be someone they can come to talk to, be someone, give them a free place where they can come to train and evolve their game, something along those lines.
So maybe go back to St. Louis and get
Yes, sir.
back.
Yes, sir. Maybe so. Maybe
That
so.
that sounds nice. Uh, Rico, obviously, right now you're training, you're getting yourself ready for a pro day, and hopefully you're going to get a chance to impress some scouts and get that opportunity at the next level. I want you to close things out with your thoughts and really just kind of direct them to all those scouts out there who might be doubters and tell them why they need to give you an opportunity. So go ahead and end with your pitch.
Yes, sir. So, like you said, coming from a Division II school, there's always going to be a knock on you, whether you're able to play with higher competition, with the higher speed of the game, and make that transition. But coming up here soon on March 15th, the scouts will see that those numbers that I put up are just as impressive, or if not more impressive than those guys at those bigger schools.
Good.
So I'm just ready to showcase my talent there. They'll see that I have a lot of speed and explosion to my name, and the school won't the school won't necessarily matter as much once we put those numbers in their face.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, we're now in the position where we're evaluating guys regardless of what that helmet has been. So
All right,
you
yes,
get out
sir.
there, you run well, you do well in those drills, and you'll get an opportunity somewhere. So
Yes, sir.
uh,
Yes, sir.
Rico, want to wish you very best of luck in this process. I know it's not always easy peasy, but
Yes, sir.
you take care of yourself, stay healthy, and hope to hear some really good numbers very soon at your pro day. All right.
Yes, sir. You will. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Sure thing. Once again, Rico Payton, the third cornerback out of Pittsburg State. Check this guy out.